advantages to it. I think a lot of it depends on your personnel. It depends on who you're playing when it's not a part of what you do. But for the teams that it's a part of what they do, they're good at it, and that's their deal.
What's the defensive adjustment? Everybody always adjusts. So what do you think will be the eventual adjustment?
I think that, they just have to learn to get the call and have the tempo of the offense. That's the biggest adjustment because they're not used to it. So if they're not doing it a lot, and I think that's what happens when we played Oregon. The hardest thing was making sure our guys would look over and get the call because they have that routine of 5-10 seconds where they kind of fiddle with themselves a little bit before they get the call. But the other key defensively is, a lot of times then they get up and then they freeze and they all look over there and they start calling the play. Well, the defense has to have that flexibility too to change. And a lot of defensive guys don't like to do that. But if they're going to look what you do and you move your structure and then they call the play, well, then you better be switching your stuff. So it becomes a little bit of a chess match from that standpoint. And I think a lot of defenses don't do that, and that gives the offense a little bit of an advantage.
Derek, you talking about James Stone being replaced?
Yeah, I was incredibly pleased. First off, with having those snap issues, I was really worried going into the game about it, and I'm still worried going into the next game because that hadn't been mastered. And he's just a good presence in the middle. He really did some things there that we hadn't been able to do inside, and it helped us.
Derek, you're complimentary of the kickoff coverage again this week. Dante Vassap looks like a guy that showed up on kickoff coverage several times. Can you talk about what you got from him?
He's doing better each week. He's another one of those core special teams guys, and you need a team full of them. He's on punt return. He's on kickoff. He's on kickoff return, and we don't have enough of those guys. So size, speed, runner, hitter guys, and he's been a boost for us. But we've settled in on that unit so far. Knock on wood, we've been playing pretty good. We just need some better kicks.
You were talking earlier about the offensive line not having the continuity they want. What can an offensive line with continuity accomplish that maybe one without it can't?
Well, you block the guys a lot better, and you don't have all the penetration, guys in the quarterback's face. So it's just working together up front. The D-lines, they don't just run into. They shift, they move, and there's a lot of TDs, and there's a slanting, and you have to communicate up there. And if all 5 guys aren't working together in sync, then you get disjointed. And that happens to us a lot. This side's doing that, that guy's doing this. And so you get used to playing next to somebody when you're working together. I mean, all 5 of them are like this the whole game. So you get used to the guy next to you, hearing his voice, what's his call, you know what he's going to do, and it just takes time and experience. And when you get new guys in there all the time, now it's hard, it's difficult, even if you have veteran guys.
Derek Stone is a natural at center.
I think he's a good body type for center. I hesitate to say a natural because he's a lefty and never snapped before. But his body type is exactly what you want because he's got the stature, but he's got great quickness. He's got a good first step, and he's a big guy. So yeah, that part of it, you like it.
Have you ever considered just telling him to snap with his right hand? Is that something in the off-season you might do?
I think we'll look at it in the off-season, but right now, go eat with your left hand today. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Yeah, go eat with your left hand today.
I'm amphibious.
See how it feels. I don't.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't think that's the time to do it. I think that's going to take a bunch of snaps. But yeah, that's certainly something we're going to consider.
You said the number of points Ole Miss is scoring on offense is kind of frightening.
Mm-hmm.
What makes that offense so dangerous?
Well, there's no way you can cheat against them. And when I say cheat, I mean a lot of teams, depending on their formation, the down and distance, the personnel, you have a pretty good feel for what they're going to do. Doesn't mean you're going to stop it, but you can at least go out there with a plan. Here, these guys run a bunch of formations. There's no real, continuity in their plays. And so you have to play sound, good football across the board and good gap control. And then what makes it extra hard is you got a quarterback who can run. And it's like anything, you know, they outnumber you because of the quarterback. So I think that's what's made it, those two things. They're not running the same stuff. It's a new play here, a new play there, and the ability to have a second runner in the backfield and the quarterback.
What about the backup quarterback? Do you know much about him?
Yeah, I
He
recruited
scores
him.
in the play?
I know
Okay.
him very well. I know his mama at La Tech, Nathan Stanley.
Mhm.
So
what is his?
well, he's a little different
Mhm.
than Masoli, but I think Masoli's going to be the guy we're going to be defending.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be shocked. And it's kind of like the Luke deal. They'll say, is he playing day to day, and then he's fine. Anything else? All right, guys, thanks.